Alright, just a couple warnings ahead of time for these ear pads, or our Ultra Comfort ear pads. If you actually replace a set of headphones, a set of ear pads on your headphones, you need to be mindful of the fact that these ear pads are much bigger than most stock ear pads. Thicker, longer, wider, etc. So if you have a carrying case that's specific to the size of your headphones, you know, in this case here I have a Fostex set of headphones that comes with a bag. So not going to be any effect on a bag. You'll be able to put these on your headphones and put them into the bag and carry them as normal. But if you have a specific carrying case that fits your headphones specifically with the ear pads that they originally came with, adding a bigger set of ear pads might mean that carrying case is now kind of useless. So that's the first warning. The second warning is going to be about the sound. This ear pad, or our ear pads here, like I said, they are longer, they're wider, and they're thicker. Your headphones are now going to sit further away from your ear because of the thickness. The width and the length of the ear pad, you know, it's going to possibly change the sound. We haven't had any complaints yet about the sound being changed drastically, but you might find there are slight changes because of the size and the dimensions. But you also have to think about the materials. If you have an ear pad that is completely velour, like this on top, but also on the sides, that is going to let out a lot more sound compared to something that is PU leather completely, like this one. So if your original ear pads are velour, and then you switch to PU leather, you might find that there's a lot more bass or sound isolation, you know, noise cancelling, etc. has now been added to the headphone. And if you go vice versa, and you're switching from total PU leather, and you're switching over to a hybrid model like this one, you might find that you're losing a little bit of that bass, or you're losing a little bit of that sound isolation, etc. In some cases it might happen. It's going to come down to the actual owner of the headphones. So the good thing is that if you do buy these ear pads and they're not to your liking, you can return them for free. Amazon, eBay, you can contact me, and it's fine to return them for free. Other than that, if you have any questions about the ear pads or about specific headphones that they might fit, if the actual listing on Amazon or eBay hasn't explained this to you as to which ones are compatible, which ones are not compatible, give us an email at accessoryhouse@btinternet.com, and I'll do my best to answer that for you. Thanks. Hello everyone, we are here today looking at the Accessory House Global Ultra Comfort ear pads. We have two versions of these ear pads. All black PU leather, and a hybrid version which is black PU leather on the side with a velour material on the face. Now velour is a fancy name for velvet. So good thing about the velour is obviously it's probably a little bit softer, more of that cloth feel on your face. Some people have reactions to the fake leather or even real leather in some cases. So maybe the velour is what you want. You'll tend to have a little bit more sound isolation when you have the PU leather fully, and that is because the material itself, PU leather is a solid material, there aren't any holes in it, whereas the velour is more of a cloth, so if you stretch it and pull it, there's sound tends to come out between the little cracks in the material. Now we want to look at these ear pads. Obviously these are designed for numerous different headphones. They're not just for one. I'm not going to name every type there is because there's quite a few. They're all in the listing. If you're unsure, you can always email me. They will fit on Fostex headphones. These are the TR80s, fairly new, which means the 70s and 90s will fit as well. I think it's the T50 RPs and the T40 RPs are the older version. They'll fit on those as well. They will fit on Audio-Technica ATH M50X and all the different colors and versions of this headphone, along with the M20X, M30X, and M40X. Shure, these are the SRH 840s. They'll fit on those. They'll fit on the 540s as well. Anyways, we're not going to get into too many headphones they will fit on. After we go through what the earpads are about, there will be an installation video for specific headphones. Now, the difference between our version, like this is, other people make this type of earpad. It's just like Bose earpads. There's loads of people out there making same earpads. So we always make ours a little bit different to make it easier for installation and better quality. This is a competitor's earpad. I won't say whose it is, but the main thing with this earpad is that you can see ours and you can see theirs. Ours is a little bit wider, a little bit thicker, and as you can see, this one here has a default in it. Not a default, but a fault in it. You can see how it's flat on this side, and then over here it's been cut wrong and it's kind of raised up a bit. And ours is perfectly flat. So you will find that there is going to be some cheap stuff out there. Now the big issue with these is these earpads actually have really good ratings from this other seller. And the reason why is because they fit so many headphones, and they are actually an upgrade to some headphones that we mentioned. The earpads that come on, like the stock earpads that come on certain headphones, even high-priced headphones, a lot of time they're just crap. So these are often an upgrade to many headphones out there. An example of this are the Superlux 668B headphones. Now these aren't the most expensive headphones in the world, but they are actually quite popular, and their earpads are just... They're made out of, this isn't leather, this is like a plastic something, and the foam is hard as a rock. They're terrible. And a lot of people buy these earpads to fit on these headphones because it's an easy fix and it makes these headphones actually sound a lot better, and you can actually wear them a lot longer. Same case for the other headphones as well. But also you might just be trying to find a set of earpads for your headphones and you can't. Some headphones, the manufacturer just doesn't make any spare parts for it, such as earpads. So these are a good universal thing, and the reason why we have changed ours is, well, what we have changed actually is, obviously besides the foam and the material, they're similar. The big thing is on the back. Here's our earpad here. We're using a strong and flexible material, whereas the competitor is using a strong but not so flexible material. And you see how it ripped like that? It ripped really, really easy, and that's because it's quite tough. And when you start to stretch these competitors' earpads onto a big headphone like this, they will rip. Guaranteed, they will rip. And it's because the material is just too tough. And ours is very stretchy, but also it has a rebound to it, so after you stretch it over and you get it onto the headphone, it will still come back in and hold onto that headphone. Now we're going to look at some headphones and their earpads, and just to compare. Looking at the Fostex TR80s, they have a very similar earpad in the way that it attaches. It has a back side that pulls around, and then the actual material is almost exactly the same. It's PU leather, and the foam is pretty soft, but it's not as soft as ours. Ours is super soft, which is one of the main things about them as well, is that's going to add a little bit more to your listening experience. You're going to be able to wear them longer. Now, the Shure SR-H840s, very, very similar, same PU leather, using a nice foam. So our earpads are going to be very similar replacement to these ones. And then you look at the Audio Technica. These actually are PU leather, but it's a lower grade of PU leather. You can actually feel it. You can't so much see it, but when you look at the grains compared to the Fostex and compared to the Audio Technica, you can tell that the Audio Technica it's nice, but it's just not as nice as these two here. The foam is quite dense and hard as well, and personally I've worn these for a couple hours and then your ears start to hurt. They're very popular with DJs, and I know I've read a lot of complaints on Amazon about these headphones and the earpads being quite tough to wear for longer periods of time. Now if you look at a headphone like this is the Superlux. These earpads are crap, so if you upgrade to ours, it's going to be happy. We're looking at the AHG K550s. Now these earpads are great. They're thick, they're soft, they're made out of a higher grade protein leather. These are very, very good. However, you want to buy these, they're going to cost you an arm and a leg. So the one thing that's really great about headphones is when they come with a pair of ear pads that match the actual value and capability of those headphones. And I would say those AKGs definitely do that. However, if you want to buy a replacement set of those from AKG, probably going to cost you a lot of money, which is where something like this comes in to save you some money and provide you with similar performance.